My name is Liz Martin. I am your Director of Religious Exploration. I'm honored to serve here at South Valley. As we begin, I ask that you please place your electronics in worship mode. Thank you very much for doing that. I also invite you to use the chapel in the back of our sanctuary. You should feel free to share joys and concerns, meditate, engage with the spiritual in any way you choose in our chapel. Children are always welcome in our sanctuary at all times during the service. If you'd like us to take care of your young one, however, we have a nursery downstairs for ages up to 3. We also broadcast the service downstairs via closed-circuit TV in the social hall and in the nursery. And then after our worship service, everyone is invited downstairs for coffee and snacks and excellent company. And then finally, please note the announcements in your order of service, which include many ways to engage with our vibrant community and ways to make new friends. I'd like to especially call your attention to an event coming up. We have 2 gigantic parties here as a community each year. One is in the fall, and it is our church auction, and the next one is coming up on March 16th, and it is our big event. And it's just called The Big Event. I got really confused by that when I first came to this church. I'm like, okay, there's a big event. What is it? It's the big event. So we have a big event where we gather, have dinner and some entertainment together, and just celebrate our community. It does commemorate the end of our stewardship drive, but that's not, entirely what it's about. It's about being together and enjoying each other's company and celebrating our community. I understand there's also some really unique entertainment opportunities this year, and you'll just have to take that as a teaser. So please visit, there's a table downstairs, so when you visit the social hall after the service, visit that table. You can sign up to help, because we do need some help to make this event happen, and to attend so that we know how many people to plan on for food. I'm also going to share with you our welcoming words for the morning. In the words of Rumi, come, come, whoever you are. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. No matter where you've been, no matter where you're going, you are welcome here. No matter what body brought you in the door, no matter whom you love, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. If you come with an open heart, open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, you are welcome here at South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society.
Good morning. What a beautiful morning. Oh my gosh. I've waited for the sun to shine. I'm Cindy Martin. I'm the service leader and speaker today. I've been asked to remind folks to get their current year pledges in addition to making their pledges for next year. And we thank you in advance. I also want to thank the musicians today, the choir, Paul Hill, our accompanist, and Sean Roberts, who performed on Yola. And finally, for our opening, I have a reading from Reverend Gretchen Haley, who serves our Boulder, Colorado congregation. There is a light that is holy, that calls us and holds us, changes us, and connects us. A thread that runs between us across time and space. It knows the risk of living and the reasons to hide under the covers. The emergencies you too may want to declare when the world seems lost. And even you might want to build walls, or at least a blanket fort to keep it all at bay. Through it all, there is a pulse that beats through it all when you tend to it. The sound of your heart steady and stubborn with eyes that keep noticing the sky and this long march of history, this path that we make together. If we are willing to keep waking up, to feel around us this light that keeps breaking, this day that begins and beckons with hope, these partners that travel too, sometimes just as lost, but also willing to risk everything in the journey. Come, let us work together. If you care to stand in body or spirit, for our opening song, page 126, count thou fount of every blessing, verses 1 and 3.
I don't like to make waves. I grew up in a very traditional LDS family, and the first time I stepped into a UU church was for a conference for doubting Mormons. This is in Arizona, and one of the speakers spoke about, or he compared a faith crisis to drowning, and talked about the need for lifeboats in various forms. And so about a year later, when it became too painful to attend the LDS church any longer, I kind of knew right where to go. I had seen the inside of a church, and even though I'd never been to a service, I kind of had an idea of what their values were. And so one Sunday I was at the LDS church, the very next Sunday I was at the UU church, and part of the reason was just that as a stay-at-home parent of two very young children, I knew that if I just stopped going to church completely, that I would be extremely isolated. My entire support system, social network revolved around church, and I needed a lifeboat. The new church that was in our neighborhood was, the analogy of a lifeboat is very apt because they didn't even have a building, it was just two modulars, one for the sanctuary, then the other for the social hall and the children's classrooms. They also didn't have a minister, and so every week different ministers from various liberal congregations from around the Phoenix area would speak. So it was kind of a one-stop shop for church shopping, which was kind of an interesting experience. Jordan, my husband, continued to go to the LDS church. He took our 1-year-old daughter, and I took our 3-year-old, who had just started Sunbeams, and for some reason was having a really hard time sitting still for 3 hours. But he fell in love with the UU church right away, and so did I. And so for, I think, almost a year, we went our separate ways. Jaron and I went to the UU church, Jordan and Maddie went to the LDS church, and Jordan at the time was just starting medical school, and as you can guess, medical school with 2 young kids is stressful for families. And there just came a point, maybe this is even a couple of years later, where we needed something to get our family together, and that's when Jordan started coming to church, to the UU church with me, and I'm grateful that he did that. Anyway, I wrote a bunch of notes. I don't think I said everything I planned to say, but that's pretty much it. By the time we moved here, the UU church no longer felt like a lifeboat. It felt more like a spiritual home. And happy to be here and happy to stay. Thank you.
To invite the young and young at heart to come forward for our time for all ages. You've started a trend, Leo. Today's service is going to explore some beliefs, and so I thought I would talk about our fourth principle a little bit and what Unitarian Universalists believe. When you're a baby, what beliefs do you have when you arrive? Goo-goo. Okay, that's what Leo contributed. You don't really. So you have this bag of beliefs that's empty. Empty? There's nothing in there. Babies are not born Buddhists or Baptists or believers of any sort. Guys, thank you. Can you skip back a little bit, please, Maddie? Thank you. Okay. I know, we are wiggly and noisy today. You're okay, Rella. Okay. So babies aren't born with a set of beliefs necessarily. They start picking up beliefs as their brains develop and as they begin thinking about things. And some things they might get from their parents. And some things they might, pick up about ideas of what's healthy. Maybe they grow up in a soccer household. So everyone has this bag of beliefs. We collect ideas about things like stars and comets, and how the world got started. We accumulate ideas about what's good and what's bad, right and wrong, important and less important in life. And they all go into this bag. Dinosaurs, evolution, maybe. Maybe you inherit some more religious beliefs from your parents. Got this bag. Yeah. So, for most religions define themselves by what is in this bag, what they believe, right? So, for instance, Christians believe in Jesus. There's Jesus. We'll put him in the bag. Okay. Muslims believe in Allah and in the Quran. Got the Quran right here. Buddhists believe that the Buddha brought the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths so that they could attain enlightenment. So here's my Buddha. Yeah. So maybe, and you might pick up, depending on where you are, you might pick up Shiva if you grow up in a Hindu household. And here's just a scary double that I brought for them. Okay. But Unitarian Universalists don't have just one set of beliefs. We don't all carry the same things in our bags. But there are different ways to hold what we've got in our bags. For example, some people hold their bags very tightly and hold them closed so that no new ideas challenge those beliefs inside their bag. Do you know anyone like that? Okay, some people hold them very tightly closed, hold on so they don't get any new ideas. And some people are the opposite. They'll just take on any belief, whether they read it on the internet or hear it on talk radio. Do you know any people like that who are just swaying around trying to figure out what they believe, and maybe they don't really believe in much because their bags are overflowing? Exactly. And then there are people who carry their bags like this. It might be full of great ideas like love your neighbor or treat others the way you'd like to be treated. But then they might swing those around saying, well, if you don't believe in the same beliefs I do, then I'm going to bash you with my beliefs. Do you know anyone like that? But as Unitarian Universalists, we aspire to a different way of carrying our bags. We like to carry them with the top open so that we can see new things. And we believe in examining all the things that were placed in there earlier. Like, I might not need this Pokeball. And I personally am putting the Leahona back. That's an inside joke for the former Mormons. I can examine, or I can find new things and new truths that I believe. Maybe I reclaim some of the things that I learned from my childhood and put them in my belief bag. So, in addition to carrying our bags open, we carry them in front of us so that we can see and examine what's going in, and so that we can share, so that other people can see and examine what we believe, if we choose to share with them. And we hopefully don't use our bags as weapons, like that third group. Because that's what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, to examine lots of different kinds of beliefs, decide what we want to have in our bag. Keep it open to examination, because at different times in our lives we might believe different things. And to not use them as a weapon against anyone else. I hope that you think a little bit today about your bag, about what it is you believe, and what you're going to do with the things in that bag. Now I invite all of our young folks to come downstairs for a religious exploration class. Let us now enter into a time of prayer, of reflection, of meditation. The Dalai Lama says that no matter what we believe, we all worship in the temple of our own hearts. We seek the holy now in the temple of our own hearts. We lift those who are lonely and those who lack for food or housing. May they find security and comfort. We lift up those who struggle with their health, be it physical, mental, or emotional. May they find healing. We celebrate those who fight for justice. May we draw hope from their example. We lift up those carrying wounds from their experiences in churches and religious institutions. May we remember that we bring our deepest sense of self to this spiritual community. And may we always be gentle with one another. May the wounded find healing and wholeness. We lift up those who are excluded from their families because of what they believe or who they love. May they find peace. We celebrate the gathering of families, those biological families, and the families we create out of love. We give thanks for this UU congregation. May it be healthy in process and fruitful in outcomes. We celebrate the things that bring us hope, the eternal possibilities of learning, of love, of growth. Let us see the beauty and holiness in the streets that we travel on. Let us see the beauty and holiness in the people we serve. Let us see the beauty and holiness in each other. Let us see the beauty and holiness in ourselves. And may we all be held in the heart of love.
you that it's one of my favorite songs of all times. I get chills every time I hear it, and you did not fail me this time. Woo! It is our practice here at South Valley to split our worship service offerings with a charitable organization or program that aligns with our values and principles. For January and February, we will split with the organization No Kid Hungry. In America today, 1 in 6 kids faces hunger. Working with local partners across the country, No Kid Hungry is ending childhood hunger by ensuring that kids get the food they need, like healthy breakfast at school and free meals during the summertime. Will you join with me in saying the words printed in the order of service for our offering? We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share in the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. Join me in our responsive reading on page 655. Change alone is unchanging. Whosoever wishes to know about the world must learn about it in its particular details.
Knowledge is not intelligence.
In searching for the truth, be ready for the unexpected.
Change alone is unchanging.
The same road goes both up and down.
The beginning of the circle is also its end.
Not I, but the world says it. All is one.
And yet everything comes in season.
And I'm not going to pronounce that name, sorry. Immutable laws blessing or a curse. Immutable is that which is unchanging, permanent, and cannot be altered. In the almost dark ages when I was growing up, the only immutable law I ever heard of was the law of gravity. A really amazing law that works the same for everyone. Just as the list of laws in the handout that you received today, all of these laws work the same for everyone. And it's a wonderful thing. I'd hate to be standing next to a loved one and the law of gravity's not working and they took off into outer space. These are laws that we depend on, laws that we may or may not know. Some of the laws we're going to be familiar with, such as the law of circulation. We have to have this in order to live. We need it in every function of our physical bodies as the flow of blood operates through our arteries and veins, the intake and outtake of air, and, of course, the circle of life song that was just presented to us so beautifully. The law of circulation is at hand. So why would we look at these laws as either a blessing or a curse? I have a couple of examples to address this question. They're true stories from people I know and went through a lot of spiritual classes and trainings with. The first one is entitled Dorothy's Curse. Dorothy had just tuned in the early 80s to the news that was abound in our world about people becoming homeless. And it was like a stab in her heart. She obsessed daily with the horror of what it would be like to be homeless. She became very fearful. She talked about it incessantly, thought about it, and her fear grew and grew, and she is a hairdresser by trade. She even started telling all of her customers about the atrocities of homelessness and how horrible it was. She didn't have an answer, she didn't try to fix it, but she just kept replaying and replaying this. As she kept dwelling on this over and over to her friends, to her customers, to everybody she knew, to her family, she began to notice that her livelihood was slipping. She wasn't having as much business as she had. And I never will forget the day she told me, she says, I'm about to lose my home. I haven't been able to make my mortgage payments. And I was just astounded. It was like, oh my gosh, the very thing you feared, you pulled into yourself. She was using the law of cause and effect. She pulled in that which she feared the most into her very life. Luckily, very luckily, Dorothy realized that she was creating this experience. It was as if she had created her own curse on herself. She immediately quit obsessing in her thoughts and talking about homelessness, and she began to bless all of her work, her family, her friends, her customers. And all of a sudden, slowly, not all of a sudden, slowly, the customers started coming back because they liked being around her. They loved her as a hairdresser. They just didn't like the woe she kept presenting. She was able to bring herself out of her hole, get caught up on all of her mortgage, and never do that curse again. Now, Shauna, on the other hand, interestingly enough, is a hairdresser too. I don't know what it is with hairdresser, but her blessing met Shauna and her 2 children over 35 years ago. And she was a single mother at the time, searching for some answers. She was totally upset and disillusioned about her other religion that she was raised in. She couldn't get answers, she couldn't get help, she couldn't have the understanding, so she was on a search. The interesting thing is she introduced me to her daughter, who was 4 years old, and her son, who was 2. These children were the same size. Shauna explained that her daughter was born with an extreme calcium deficiency that affected her by stunting her physical and mental growth. And that this would be a challenge for her daughter all of her life. But Shauna was a go-getter. She wanted answers and she was going to find them, whether it was with our group, another group, or who knows. I began to witness an amazing transformation as she questioned everything that she believed in her entire life. And I watched with awe at the fiercest human mother came forth. She was going to fix this. She was willing to do whatever it took to help her daughter to have a good life. And as she prayed, and as she meditated, and as she affirmed the truth, and as she worked diligently to do this, she was drawn to an all-natural clinic in Las Vegas, Nevada, where she had her daughter tested and discovered that she also had a rare condition called Williams syndrome. And this was back again in the 80s. It didn't affect that many children in the United States, about 3,500. That number has grown, but because it was so rare and there wasn't enough tragedy of children that had this, there was not any research being done to cure it, no grants, no anything. But Shauna did find a support group of parents that helped her learn to handle her daughter's condition, to cope with it, and it was amazing to watch. My husband and I actually, in our time with Shauna, volunteered to watch the children on Saturdays because she was a struggling single mom who wasn't getting much support from her ex-husband for the children. And so it was amazing to watch her daughter because we'd take her to the grocery store with us, and in this disease, this Williams syndrome, she would go into like a dream state, and she would just literally wander off down the aisles, and it was like, I've got to keep this little girl near me at all times. I can't have her disappearing. But as she learned all of this, she did everything within her power to restore her daughter to as much normalcy as she possibly could. She put the whole family on a plant-based diet, and that helped a lot. She then was drawn to purchase this big, huge machine that she barely had room for in her home that mimicked crawling to help ignite this brain stem growth, the stem cell, so that her brain would grow and function better. She learned ancient art of zone therapy, something like foot reflexology, and she worked on her daughter every single day. But the thing that was interesting is Shauna herself was growing. The kids were coming up with her. It's like you pull people up with you when you're growing and changing and being okay with yourself. She was learning in these classes that we were all taking about the law of growth. Now she became a force to be reckoned with, because this is a universal law, and if you call upon the law of growth and believe in it, it force to be reckoned with, she constantly called upon the law of growth to assist her daughter. She did this through prayer work, through meditation. Every waking hour, she was calling upon the law of growth to undo the damage that this calcium deficiency had caused. As her faith grew, so did her courage. She thought to get her daughter a coach so that she could go into mainstream school with the normal kids, and she got it. Not only did she do that, but when her daughter became of age, she had her take driver's education, and she got her license, and she could drive. Now, she didn't really like driving, but it was an accomplishment. And then she went so far as to take a few college courses, which, Mom had to help her with some of that homework, and Shauna herself got a college education by sending her daughter to school. All in all, her daughter became a semi-functioning adult, still faced with mental and physical challenges. She may never be able to live completely on her own, but this child did grow. She did experience things that didn't seem not normal. So then we're going to go back to our world curse. The law of attraction is the drawing force which centralizes idea into purposes and purposeful activity. Through this law, similar vibrations come together, and similar purposes join themselves into activities of greater power. This law draws together groups of people of similar intent, whether it be a book club discussion or a white supremacist meeting. The law doesn't know the difference. However, this same law can be called upon to bring into our world people or experiences that we desire, or eliminate the same. For instance, we could use an affirmation. I call upon the law of attraction to bring into our world people, experiences, and things that bless all and are in alignment with good. All that is not in alignment with good is by the law of attraction repelled and gone. We're pretty powerful beings if we know how to use the laws that are ever present, that we may have not ever heard of, that we might have. But I like to think about our world as the blessing. And I call upon the law of order. Because the law of order operates as everything being in its right place in relationship to all other things. This is a completely orderly universe. All of its laws are always operating perfectly. Every star and every planet is in its perfect place. Humanity itself is motivated by an inner sense of order, which causes us to feel at peace when we are in tune with the law of order, and confused when we're out of tune with it. This law can be called upon to help any situation that appears to be out of order. Now, I, for one, want to restore order, because I think we've been out of order for, a couple of years now. We've got to have order in this universe, and I just get so heartsick when I think of the years and years of so many people who have worked so diligently to eradicate racism, sexism, violence, white supremacy, gender equality, and the work must continue. The protests must continue, the phone calls, the petitions, everything. We've got to make the change. And as I was preparing for this lesson today, I was like, what can I do? Because sometimes going to protest doesn't work out, or whatever. And sometimes we're not the people that want to go march, or we're just not moved. But there's something I can do. I know that. And I was reminded that, last summer I was out in the backyard pulling weeds, and my husband was listening to KRCL. And at noon, everything stops, and they present a 1-minute meditation for world peace. Well, I quit pulling those weeds. I sat right down. It's like, yeah. I remember in the area, in 1983s, when we had our first world peace meditation, and we changed the vibration of the planet. Once a year is not enough. It's not enough. So, I've made a decision, and I invite any of you who are so moved. I'm going to set my cute little smartphone to 12 noon, and every day I'm going to have that 1-minute meditation, not just once a week, every day. And I will meditate for world peace, but the thing I want to do is call upon the law of order to heal our planet. Something like, I call upon the law of order to release all disorder and confusion. I accept that order reigns in all people, places, and things, and align with the greater good for all. I know that we live in an orderly universe, and that divine order is at hand now. Blessed be His. Join us for our closing song, page 100.
Amen.
this chalice, but
not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of passion.
those we hold in our hearts. So let us remember that immutable laws are neutral. It's all about how we use them. They can become a blessing or a curse in our lives. And I'd like to close with an affirmation from our hymnal on page number 457. It says, I am only one, but I am still one. I cannot do everything, but still, I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something I can do.